Yeah, so the recording is started. So, what exactly is the current situation? Why must we file for a patent, right? And what are few of the project ideas that I have in mind, which have impressed me? Maybe that you would also like them too. So, I'll try covering this as soon as within 6:30, because most of you would be then joining another call for Japanese class. So, don't want to take much of your time. So depending upon the interest, we can have a few more sessions. You can directly reach out to me, depending upon your interest. So the target audience to this is mostly those students who are really enthusiastic uh, towards innovation. They want to push the frontiers of electronics and telecommunication field and what lies ahead. Right, I will be explaining that, and to those staff members who are really interested in making a difference. So this is not open for all. This is mostly based on the interest. Now, going ahead, one sec. Yeah. Uh, why must IDA be protected, right? That is the first question that comes to the mind. Why can't we open it for all? Why should we protecting it? Number one, it is your idea, right? You have come up with that particular idea. You have come up with that particular solution, and you have took the risk and spent the money, right? We are into this bubble over here that you have took the risk and spent the money. Let us say that you are trying to develop some innovative communication system, wireless communication system, and you attempt to conduct some 100 experiments. Each experiment has costed you about 1,000 rupees, right? You have already spent about a lakh rupees, right? And out of that, one of the experiment gets successful, you need to recover that cost. Otherwise, then anyone looking at that particular design with a hindsight bias will take away and then start making money for free, isn't it? So that is why you have got the right to recover the costs, and then encouragement is going to lead to more ideas, isn't it? Let us say that you develop a small power supply, an innovative power supply, having a high efficiency, let us say, right? uh, Having a high efficiency, and then you patent it, you start making money out of it, you recover the cost, and whatever revenue stream comes in, because of which your life gets better, you travel to many other countries, uh, you add to that knowledge, and then you come up with more inventions because you have got an encouragement. So it is good for the society and good for you as well, and that is why this system is in place, right? So let us move ahead. That what exactly is a patent? Patent is an exclusive right. Correct. All of us are given the rights by the Constitution of India, right? Right to express our thoughts and freedom, right to practice our faith, and so on and so forth. So this one right is not given to everyone. It is an exclusive right given to only those who file for it, right? And what does it provide? I mean, what does it provide you? It just prevents others from making, selling, using, offering for sale, or importing your invention, right? Someone will say that I'm not making your invention, I'm just importing it, right? Even that is also not allowed. The customs at the border are going to block that. They will say that, do you have the license for this from the patentee, right? That is the question which is going to be asked. So it has got a wide spectrum coverage. The moment you get a patent, you get that particular power at hand that nobody is going to copy, or even if they copy, they will need to pay you, right? So this is what we call it as a patent. Now going ahead, these are some of the examples. All we have already learned this in the school, right? That who has invented telephone? It is Alexander Graham Bell. So as you can see the name here, AG Bell, transmitter and receiver for electric telegraphs, right? This is the original patent document over here. Then all of us have used the pencil with a eraser attached at the back. This was patented back in 1858. The same year, we were just completing our first war of independence, right? That was triggered at Barakpur cantonment by Mangal Pandey. We all know that. And I think in 1858 or 1857 time frame, Rani Lakshmi Bai from Jhansi, right? She sacrificed her life on the field fighting with the British. We all know that. Then comes the motor, electromagnetic motor by Nikola Tesla, as you can see this over here, right? It is also in the same time frame. So these are the original patent documents, right? This is what we call it as true and first inventor. Legally, we call it. So let us say that you come up with some innovative invention. Your name would be put in that particular application as true and first inventor, and then we would apply for a patent, and then we would start prosecuting it. So later is the legal part which comes in. So you don't need to worry much about it. Now, I would like to ask you, can you identify this place? You can put that in the chat window. I'm monitoring the chat as well. Uh, Can any one of you, I mean, identify this place? Which place is this? If you don't know, I can still tell you. I mean, all right. Madai. Okay, that is interesting. Cellular jail. Yes, Atharva, you are right. Yes, it is cellular jail. Absolutely right. So this is a cellular jail that was built and constructed in Port Blair, right? Capital of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now, the specialty of this jail is it has got no walls at all. And obviously, it has got no walls because the political prisoners have nowhere to run, isn't it? So, as you can see, the design of this, the prisoners who are kept in this particular cell will not be able to see the prisoners in this cell because the back side is facing over here, whereas the jailer entering into this central tower is able to watch all the prisoners, right? So this is how it was, and now you will wonder that why exactly I am taking this particular slide into this. What has got patenting got to do with this, right? So let us move on, right? How were our prisoners? I mean, the political prisoners, I must say, and how were our freedom fighters treated with this? So this is a cross bar fetters and bar fetters punishment that was meted out, right? In case you shows any kind of a disobedience, imagine having such kind of things in your arms and legs tied, how uncomfortable it would be. And they were actually meted out with three particular tortures. One was hunger, second was isolation, and third is torture, right? Hunger, isolation, and torture. So, just in case anyone is not completing his quota of breaking that coconut shell, he would be flogged like this. And this was how the oil was being extracted out of the coconut shells, as you can see. And these are some of the horrors of the corridors, right? I have visited this. I deliberately show this that independence that we have got, it was not that easy at all, right? And why was the independence achieved in the words of Veer Savarkar, Jai Jai Unnata Udata Unmata Mahan Madhura Tete, right? That is how he says. So my view is also the same, right? That is how India should be, and that is why they were all into this. And of course, many other freedom fighters were there. Ullaskar Dutt was there, Batukeshwar Dutt was there. Not only Veer Savarkar, and I would respect each and every freedom fighter, not only the ones that I have mentioned. This is one of those epitomes that I want to show that whatever we have gained today, it was not that easy. And this is how it looks today. I mean, there is a light and sound show. Most of you might have visited. This is how it gets illuminated in tricolor, and this is one of the beaches in nearest islands, Havelock Islands. Do visit there, uh, right? One of the most rated beautiful beaches in Asia, right? So this is how it looks today. After gaining independence, everything looks gloomy and nice, rosy. It is all for us to make our country better. Is why they have fought for us. Now, while this was all happening, there were many Indians who were making a quantum leap. Right. The first one is Sir C.V. Raman, who was awarded Nobel Prize. We all know that. The second one is Meghnad Saha, who is famous for Saha ionization equation, who actually found out how much hydrogen is there on the stars, specifically sun, right, being here. And third one is Satyendranath Bose. Every physics student has learned about him. And Paul Dirac, one of the physicists, has named a particle after him called as boson. So it is said that while Sir C.V. Raman received the Nobel Prize, he literally had a heavy heart because a Union Jack was placed on his table, right? He also said that I come from a country which doesn't have its own flag even today, and we have our own flag today. Remember that, right? While he received the Nobel Prize, so that is most important. Now, this is what our constitution says, right? Article 51A, fundamental duties, right? What is our fundamental duty as a citizen of India? To abide by the constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, national flag, and the national anthem. And then it goes on, and I would like to highlight this particular thing to develop the scientific temper, humanism, spirit of inquiry, and reform, right? So, we as engineering students, faculty members, and I myself as an engineer, we need to question ourselves that this is my fundamental duty, right, to develop a scientific temper. Have I done this today? Okay, have I done this? Have I developed anything for the humanism as such? Have I inculcated or developed or increased my spirit of inquiry? Why is this working in this particular way, in that particular way? Have I carried out any effort to have a reform in place, right? So you can search this. This is available on the PDF. But then this line is most important, right? This is what is enshrined in our constitution. Now, going ahead, what is the current situation of patents, right? Who is ranking first now? All of us are really patriotic. We are all saying that boycott China. We don't want China. Chinese mal nahi chahiye and all that stuff. Is that enough? Is my question. No doubt about it. It is a good step, right? Made in China is there, and I am going to reject the things. I don't want that. हरकतें ही ऐसी हैं, right? I mean, the behavior is such that we don't want anything from China now. However, when it comes to intellectual property, is that going to be enough? Because most of the Chinese nationals have filed the patents and got them granted here in India. So even if we make certain articles here in India, the money is still going to go to the pockets of China. Try to understand this, right? This is the most important thing, and that is why I have called up for this particular session, right? So who is number one in digital communication? China, right? So this particular picture actually shows the patents held in year 2019-20 by various countries, and where do they rank and where do we rank, right? Where can we see? While preparing this, my son asked me, where is India, Papa? So I said, you have to get that India's name over here, right? That is what you have to do. That is why you have to study, right? So the first thing is digital communication. Who is at number one? China. Computer technology, who is at number one? Number two, it is China. And at third number, in audiovisual technology, it is China. United States is number one in computer technology, second in medical technology, and third in digital communication, right? Japan is first in electrical machinery, apparatus, energy, second in computer technology, third in transport, bullet trains. Right? We all know that. Germany is first in transport. We have got Mercedes Benz, Audi, BMW, right? That is what is visible over here. Number second is electrical machinery, apparatus, and energy. We have got Siemens. We all know Siemens. And third is mechanical elements. Right? Mechanical engineering, German engineering is said to be one of the elite ones. And then comes Republic of Korea. Right? First is again digital communication. We have got LG, Samsung, right? And then second is electrical machinery, apparatus, energy, and third is computer technology. Obviously, both go hand in hand, right? So this is what the current situation is. Now let us move on. Which are the top countries with international patents granted? Right? Look at the country that we are targeting, and it has been increasing. It has the hollow bubbles, the white bubbles that you can see. It was in last year, right? Till last year, US was leading the race, and this year it has been overtaken by China, right? Look at the huge number, approximately 59,000, 59,000 patents is held by China, followed by 58,000 by US, 53,000 by Japan, Germany, Korea, France, UK, right? Switzerland, Sweden, and then comes Netherlands. We Indians, again, we are nowhere. And by the way, we Indians have got every right to be in the top 10. Why? Because we produce the maximum number of science and technology graduates in our country. All right, let that sink in, that our tribe, our community of engineering forms the largest, one of the largest in the world. So we have got every reason, every occasion, and every season to be there in this particular list. Going ahead, who are the top applicants? The number one is Huawei Technologies, again China. Mitsubishi Electric Corporation, Japan. Samsung, South Korea, that means Republic of Korea. Qualcomm, US. Oppo Mobile, right? Everyone is popular. I mean, popularly buying Oppo, Toppo, and whatnot. So this Oppo Mobile is there. Then BOE Technology Group is again from China. Then this I can't pronounce this name. Ericsson. This is from Sweden, and then again from China. Robert Bosch comes from Germany, and then LG Electronics comes from South Korea. Let us now count the number of Chinese companies over here, right? These are all the top applicants of international patent applications, by the way. Huawei is one, Oppo is second, BOE is third, and fourth is that Ping An Technology, Shenzhen, right? Among top 10 applicants, 10 are from, 4 are from China. Try to understand the seriousness, right? Nowadays, the wars are not going to be fought on the borders. They are all going to be contactless wars. And like I said, whatever has been enshrined in our constitution, that we have got really by hard work, right? Always bring that particular picture before your mind, the cellular jail, right? 10 years people have been there under isolation, and for what? For political reasons, right? They had not committed I mean, they were fighting for their own freedom, right? Their fellow man's freedom. What if someone comes into your house and then says, claiming this is my house? What will you tell him? They protested for the same reason. Try to understand. So this is what the situation is. Now, this is, as I had said, the top applicants countrywide, right? I have just collated those four into one particular graph. China, right? Look at how many countries. I mean, the way in which country-wise companies list is there. Huawei, Oppo, Bo, and Ping and Technology, followed by Samsung and LG. I had already told that this is coming from Korea, Japan, US, Sweden, and Germany, right? So this is how that situation is. Now going ahead. Now this is patent offices receiving applications, right? Now let us say that I am sitting in Japan and I am a Japanese national. I want to sell some product in India. What is the first thing that I would do? I want to protect my invention so that any other person in that particular country should not be copying my invention. I will apply to the Indian Patent Office, right? And this is what the companies have done over here. India is seen over here that India is receiving the applications. And the next slide, I'm going to show you who is applying for these 50,000 55 patents, right? How many are Indians who are applying for these many number of applications? How many are coming from outside, right? So the first is no doubt about it. China has to receive it from its in-house, right? Chinese nationals are way ahead in this. And then comes US, then comes Japan, Republic of Korea. China is also a big market. So other countries also file patents in China whenever they want to sell the products in China, right? So this is where India is figuring in that India is one of the largest receiving offices among top 10 over here, right? Now let us go ahead now. Now this graph I have obtained it from annual report of Indian Patent Office, that which country nationals are filing patents here in Indian Patent Office. So as you can see over here, now this is a 2017 report. I am unable to source the latest one, and I'm pretty sure that the in the latest report, China would be one of the largest filers. That is my guess. I may be wrong. I will try as soon as that report becomes available from Indian Patent Office. I will definitely be sharing that with you as well. All those who are interested, I will be sharing that with you. So over here, USA about 8,600, followed by that Japan, right, about 3,500. Here comes about 13,000 patents. Then comes Germany, 2,100, about 15,000 patents. China, 17,000. Netherlands, about 18,000. 19,000 Korea, 20,000 Sweden, 21,000. Uh, I mean UK, Sweden combined, and 22, 23,000 patents out of 50,000 patents, even if we assume, right, it is coming from outside. And now this year, that number has gone really high up. It is said that only 30% Indian nationals have filed the patents in Indian Patent Office, right? So this is what the situation. We have got. I mean, it is our intellectual power. It is not going to need much investment. What do the patents offer? Now it offers a proprietary market advantage, right? Let us say that you come up with an innovative power supply. Let us speak very simple. Power supply, I will show you one of the patent applications filed in IIT Madras. Recently it has been filed where a professor named Dr. Saxena has filed a patent in power supply, right? A DC-DC power converter or a voltage regulator, for example, I must say. So you get a competitive, I mean, a proprietary market advantage. What do you mean by proprietary market advantage? Nobody will be able to make that. Let us say that someone needs a highly efficient power supply and you have developed it, you have filed a patent for it, they have to come to you, right? Nobody else would be able to copy. So don't worry about it, you get that advantage. Number second, improves the financials naturally, right? It is going to improve your financial because you hold that particular power. As long as there is no substitute available in the market, you actually enjoy a monopoly. The moment a substitute kicks in, then it is a different story, that customers will once again try to differentiate based on the quality of your invention. This is going to fuel in more research into this, right? Let us say that you attempt to develop a durable filament of an electric bulb, just for a sake of an example. Right now we all use led based bulbs, but let us say that you attempt to come up with a durable filament. It is going to naturally spur into more research because someone else would be making a durable glass that would house that filament. someone would be making a durable holder that would hold that particular bulb. So that one particular invention is going to spur more research into that particular area, and entire ecosystem itself is going to get developed. And then you are going to get a competitive edge, of course, right? As long as you keep selling your product, you yourself would be having more research into this. For example, now let me give you some real world examples. All of shop on amazon.com, right? You know how Amazon filed one particular patent. Amazon filed a patent called as one click patent system. What one click patent system means is users were able to store their credit card or debit card data into that particular website, and next time whenever they wanted to purchase anything on Amazon, they were buying it with that one click. So Amazon had acquired that patent, and it enjoyed that particular advantage. There was one more company which had attempted to copy this particular technique of Amazon, and then they were actually pulled in the court by Amazon. The name of the company was Barnes and Nobles. So this is how, and this patent got expired in the year 2017, by the way. And till 2017, Amazon became a really big brand name. You all know that. The next example is Xerox Corporation. All of us know what Xerox is, right? It is into photographic, photocopying machines. So they hold patents into that. Do you know any other machine? Do you know any other company apart from Xerox? We hardly know few of them, like Canon is there, Epson is there, but they are also not into pure photo copying machines. They are mostly into printer segments and so on. Third is Dell. What is the specialty of Dell computers? Built to order, right? The moment you try placing the order on Dell, they have managed the supply chain so well that you can actually select what type of a operating system that you want, whether you want a Windows 10 Home or Windows 10 that secured operating system, whether you want to install Office Home or Office Professional, whatever it is, and then actually it gets custom built for you. So Dell actually has got a patent in its name in that. Hitachi is another such company which has actually filed multiple patents in the area of temperature sensors, airflow sensors, so to say, right? Hitachi is world leader in air conditioning today, so they have filed multiple number of patents. And then comes Gillette, right? One of my favorite examples, Gillette, the shaving blade. They came up with a single blade first, then came this double blade, triple blade, five blades. Then they came with an invention of putting the springs so as to see that it doesn't cut the cheeks, right? So Gillette has come up with that, and they have filed around 20 to 24 patents around cartridge, around springs, around blades, angle of the blade, and so on and so forth. Right. So these are some of the classic examples. So this is how you are going to get advantages into this. Now, why do you want to file a patent? From a student perspective, right? मेरे लिए क्या है? What is in store for me? Your idea may work, right? You may really hit a jackpot, a real jackpot. I'm saying, right? What if someone comes in and gives you a huge offer? It has happened in many other developed countries, right? For example, TI bought one DSL patent portfolio from a college student for about $30 million. Why? Because they got that competitive advantage in the DSL area. Second, better job prospects. Let us say that you file an application for a patent, right? You are in a final year engineering. By the time you come into final year engineering, I would I would not like to say a mini project. Let us say a product line. In third year engineering, you work on a product line, you file a application, and by the time it matures, and then in the BE, you actually walk out with a patent granted status. How, let us say that there are 10 candidates who have applied for a position in a company. Your job prospects are definitely going to be better because you have got a one patent granted. You have actually pushed the frontiers of science and technology. Acceptance in foreign universities. Many of us want to appear for GRE and then want to complete MS in foreign universities. How good it be if at all you mention in the statement of purpose that I have applied for certain patents. The professor there already knows that he's far ahead into this game, right? You would be preferred there, and you are going to build a reputation for yourself and college. How does it happen when someone says that, you know what, I'm an alumni of so and so institute, and that institution has got a formidable reputation, right? It feels good, isn't it? So who builds that particular reputation? It is we students who build that reputation. So let us say that it rains, and then most of you make a patent application. PVG gets into that particular league, right? PVG would be a brand name, right? It is a brand name is more like a public perception. What do public perceive as PVG, right? The moment that gets built, it will be good for you even in your further career, where you proudly say that, you know what, I passed out from PVG. PVG had the right ecosystem to nurture our intellectual capabilities, to harness our creativity, right? That is why we are here at this position. So this is most important. Going ahead, what exactly is the criteria for patenting? It has to be a literally new idea. I mean, this googling is just not going to work. Electronics for you, some magazines, I am going to google this, I am going to do this, do that. It's really not going to work, right? As subtle as, I mean, you might be learning about bridge rectifiers. You can go through few patent documents to understand how the problems are being solved today, what problems exist, right? Is efficiency a problem? What is the efficiency of a typical power supply? What can I do to make it more efficient, right? That is how you have to come up with an invention. So it should not be copied from anywhere. See, you rack your brain. Can I reduce this particular diode? Can I make it capacitorless? Can I make it an inductorless? I mean, if you look at an iPhone charger, it is really light in weight. I mean, how does it convert a 230-volt AC into what is needed for a USB? Try to look into what is the USB standards in the first place, right? What amount of voltage and current requirement does USB demand, and how is that possible to even convert? If at all you are able to crack that particular puzzle, well and great. This is how that innovation uh, comes up. Innovation is not something that is a Nobel Prize work, or developing a robot that would directly conduct a brain surgery, right? You can reach over there, but then it takes time to mature. Rome was not built in a day. So second is like solving a problem. Like I said, a long felt need of solving a problem, right? Maybe one particular part, people might be working around, people might be spending many rupees or dollars on that. Can I develop a solution where it would be damn cheap for them, right? So simple solution, even an improvement can work. Yes, the answer is right. Even an improvement in the existing invention can work. Try to understand. Someone, let us say, comes up with a cement. I normally give this to civil engineering students. A good cement, right? It blends and it is very durable. And let us say that someone studies that particular cement and then adds a fire resistant or fire retardant to that, so that even if the building catches fire, it is not going to conduct the fire at all. It is not going to be conducive for fire to spread. Then even that is also patentable. The second one, that is fire retardant addition process, is also patentable. And you need to maintain it as a top secret, right? Don't go on publishing it in this competition, that competition. We don't want to earn any certificates unless and until you put an application for that, right? Putting an application at the patent office is most important. No blogging, no social media. Don't even tell it to friends. Let us say that you form different project groups, and if someone overhears about this particular idea, then again you are in trouble, right? He is going to go ahead, he is going to file a patent in his name. So it has to be really kept top secret. You can discuss it with your guide. That is all, and you keep it top secret as long as you file it. The moment you file it, you are actually done with that. So with that, what should you do after filing? You can practice it yourself. What do I mean by practicing yourself? You can start manufacturing it yourself, right? Which has got a really less probability. I mean, how would you manufacture? Whom would you approach? Unless and until it is not a article of manufacture, right? This probability is really less. Or if at all it is a software related patent, then you can actually replicate it, because software doesn't need any exclusive manufacturing. You are going to license it to someone. That is a bright chances, right? You develop any digital communication related invention, which I'm going to show you shortly how few IITs here have already done that. Then you can actually talk to some companies that would you like to license it, right? And then what should you do after licensing it? Are you going to play golf with that money? The answer is no. You will work on next big idea, right? And again, repeat. So what I'm saying is, like, innovate, patent, prosper, and then repeat. Keep doing this, right? As you open that, you look at the Dove shampoo, manual. What does it say at the back? Instruction: wash, rinse, repeat. Right? It doesn't say that you stop. So I am also not going to say that. Innovate, patent, prosper, and then repeat. Uh, with that, there are a few ideas which I want to show you. Till that time, do you have any questions? I am not seeing any questions. So if at all you have any questions, you can ask me those questions. Else, I am going to start speaking about few ideas. All right. Because I got no response, I'm
I
just
have a
yeah.
question.
Oh yes, please.
Pardon me, I'm not typing it in because
Uh-huh.
I believe it's a little big and
Uh-huh.
I'll get it short.
Uh-huh.
Sir, in defense domain, there
Uh-huh.
are a lot of technologies that they are present.
Hmm.
Even if we take a small example of Coca-Cola, say
Hmm.
their initial formula is kept secret.
Hmm.
So these technologies or these kind of secret formulas, do they have a patent? And if they have a patent, then how is the public been uh, been told about them, or you could say how basically they are kept secret as well as patented. So there is no chance to know that if China has made a particular defense technology yet or not.
Hmm.
So please can you throw some light on that?
I will throw
Just an example.
certainly a light on that. I did not wanted to put that slide at all. Otherwise, I would have explained you the different protection regimes available for intellectual property. So there is a difference between a trade secret and a patent. All right. Now let me talk about trade secrets. What do we qualify as a trade secret? Now, when it comes to Coca-Cola formula, there have been instances of a food hacking attempt. What do we mean by food hacking attempt is by knowing the mere taste, like Pune's bakarwadi, right? Nobody knows the recipe of real bakarwadi. However, we have got bakarwadi from Chitale and then we have got bakarwadi from Kaka Halwai also, right? However, they taste different. The moment you present those two bakarwadis to me, I will be able to make out that this is not Chitale's bakarwadi. But we can't, at least I can't, I am unable to make Chitale bakarwadi at home, right? Because it is a protected trade secret. Now, what could be guarded as a trade secret is something that you cannot reverse engineer, right? Something that you cannot reverse engineer can be protected by trade secret. Now, how do you protect a trade secret? There are some legal instruments called as non-disclosure agreements, which you keep signing with the employee that you are not going to disclose it. The moment anyone goes out and then discloses, then you actually go to the court. You get that injunction from the court. You actually go to that particular factory facility, attempt to seize that facility, destroy that facility in the presence of a magistrate, destroy all the documents, and then come back, right? That is the power of trade secret. Now, what all are trade secret? You know only about a Coca-Cola formula. I will tell you many more trade secrets. There is a tire company called as Michelin, right? It's a French company. Now, the way in which they vulcanize the rubber, they harden the rubber, at what temperature, at what pressure do they do that, what is the catalyst that they add into their reaction, that is just not known, right? That is another guarded secret. There are few firecracker companies, right? They, after they go into the sky, they produce beautiful patterns. They are in Germany. You literally don't know. You can, after dismantling them, you know what chemicals that they have used, but the way in which those chemicals are tied together, right? The way in which they have been bound together, that is just not known to people at all. That is another form of a trade secret. So, in a nutshell, anything where a person, after it, let us say that you come up with a product and then that product reaches to a person skilled in the art. Let us say I am a person skilled in electronics. I receive your product and I'm unable to, decode what exactly you have done into that. There is no need for you to go ahead with the patenting. You can protect it with a trade secret and you can hold it as long as people are unable to hack that particular thing, right? The moment people are able to hack that particular thing, then it is going to become open. You are going to get no legal protection against it. Patents are only for those kind of inventions where it reaches a person skilled in the hand and he is able to reverse engineer it with a hindsight bias. You want to protect it, and that is where it comes in. Now, coming to the defense technology. Now, not all defense technology, can be guarded. Yeah, most of them is held as a trade secret. You are right. I mean, you are just unable to make out. Forensic analysis is another branch where you can make out how exactly they have tied put things together. Otherwise, then there are defense related patents also. I did not want to talk about it, but then there are defense related patents too. So, did that answer your question, Atharva? I think Atharva asked this question, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Very well, sir. It really was helpful. Thank you so much.
Okay, okay. And not only that, even your business practices, business processes can be all held as a trade secret. I'll have a separate session on trade secret, depending upon how many students are interested into trade secret in the first place. All right. So till that
Right, sir.
time, let us look at
Very,
patents for time being, because let us say that you develop one particular configuration of a rectifier, and then you start selling it, and I get that rectifier. I look at it. I know how you have connected the diodes and transistors, capacitors, inductors. I can once again replicate it even merely by looking at it. Then there is no point in holding a trade secret, right? Whether you put the diode D1 first or D2 first, that doesn't matter. I mean, diode is there and diode is there. That's it. So that is another one. So yeah. So any more questions, or shall we go ahead with the project ideas? All right.
sir, I have
I'll
not received any more questions,
not
so I
an issue.
believe we can.
Not an issue. Not an issue. So I'll show you a few more. Let me share the other screen for you now. So one of them is this farm bot, right? Farm bot is another one that has impressed me. Just I'll just mute this. I hope my voice is audible, Atharva.
Yes, sir. You're audible, loud and clear.
All right, all right. So this is a kind of setup that they have made that plugs in the seed, puts it into the ground, and then you can actually mark those locations which seed you want to put at which ground. And this is all microcontroller based and stepper motor based, right? This is one of the things, and the hardware is open source. Now this is for you to study, right? It is solving a particular problem that all those who are not enthusiastic about going to their garden every day and then growing their own food can actually get this assembled and then take a control over their app, which could be installed either on their desktops or on their laptops, right? So it is going to spray the water. You can actually select the locations like this, what exactly you want to plant, and then it is going to pick up the relevant seeds, and then it is going to plant it. So this is one of those ideas. You can take a look, check what exactly can be improved into this, right? One of the areas of innovation, not only from patenting perspective, but even our farmer brethren can benefit out of this, right? Can you lower the cost of this? That is also a great thing that you are doing, because these come no cheap at all. Speak to your mechanical engineering friends. Not necessarily that you have to do your final year project only with ENTC friends. One mechanical, one ENTC, one computer science who will write the software for this can also form a project group, right? It is one of the innovative ways of doing this. So this is how it is going to put the seeds into that and so on. So another one, right? After this, uh, the, the elephants were coming in one particular region in India. This has won the best innovation award. That elephants were coming. They used to cross the road while trains uh, used to run on the tracks. So what did they do is elephants actually fear the sound of the bees, right? Honeybees. So what these people did is they actually made a sound generator of bees, and then they placed the beacon at the most vulnerable position. So whenever the train is about to pass, they would turn that sound on of that bees. So fearing that elephants never ever crossed the tracks at all, and because of which deaths of elephants got prevented, right? So who is expert among all the branches of engineers in acoustic engineering? It is we, right? Electronics engineering. Now how can this be applied to locusts? Now locusts attack has been the most hot topic in Rajasthan area, in Delhi area, right? The swarms of locusts have been coming, they have been destroying the crops. Now can you do a search and then find out that which are the sound frequencies to which the locusts fear a lot, right? Or is there any spectrum of light where locusts feel attracted? Can we develop something on those lines, right, to help our farmer brethren in not facing that particular loss? And then you can use the beacon that is used on the ambulances to concentrate the sound waves. How can you build that particular beacon? How can you prepare a virtual dome of that particular sound, which is not audible to the human beings, but it irritates the locusts, and locusts will not even come near the farm? And how can you power that? Is using a solar power, right? So farmers don't need to get burdened uh, with the electricity bill also, right? You can have that end-to-end type of a product. For that you will need to grow locusts in your campus. So you'll need to take the right permission from your HOD that we are going to cultivate the locusts, also breed locusts in our lab. So I think you will need right permissions from biodiversity department also for that. So that is one. Not only that, there has been one particular product in the UK where these dogs in the night time start crying. They start whining, and then they have developed, as soon as a dog starts whining, a sensor actually catches that, and then it starts generating the ultrasonic waves that is pleasant to the dogs. All right. So there were two inventions. The first one was the ultrasonic sound generator generates so irritating sound for the dogs that is not audible to the human beings, that the dog itself keeps quiet. The moment it starts whining, it gets the sound so large and heavy that it pains its eardrums, and then it keeps quiet. Now another person actually improved that particular invention by having a pleasant sound, right? That is pleasant for the dogs, so that they shut up in order to hear that particular pleasant sound in the ultrasonic spectrum, which is or not audible to the human ear. Now the moment he ended up developing the improvement improved patent started selling, and the earlier one took a seat back, right? So constant innovation is also one of the keys to this. So can you develop something on the grounds of locust? This is another idea that I wanted to give you. Now going to the next one, rotimatic, right? This is one of the products where automatic rotis can be prepared. So you put the atta into this, you put water, oil into this, you are going to press the buttons. What is the thickness level? What is the roast level that you need for your chapatis? And how many rotis you want to make? And then it starts pushing out the rotis. So this has been developed out of India. And when I search that if such a product is available in India itself is this product not available. This is available in foreign countries, right? You can select pretty much everything. Cleaning is easy, right? I'm not telling you that you go ahead and then build such a kind of a product, but then there are many other Indian cuisines, right? Can you think of a idli vending machine? We have got idli batter being ready-made available. Then can you think of a steamed masala idli that would come out, because sambar and chutney will not come out, right? Masala idlis directly. And can we place such kind of uh, vending machines on a London train stations, or Belgium, one of the train stations where there are Indians and they want to have idlis at the railway station. There is no manual intervention needed. All a person needs to do is refill that particular batter. Making a batter is not very difficult. Batter is available in India most of the times, right? So can you think of at least idli vending machine is one of the ideas that I'm trying to give you, right? And now going ahead with the patents filed, right? I would like to now show you what kind of patents have been filed by IITs and where we can make a contribution, right? Just hold on for a second, because this keeps asking for a captcha. Atharva, is my screen visible now? I am trying to show a patent search web page.
Yes, sir. Your screen is completely visible, and we
Thank
are
you so
able to
much.
see even the minutest details.
I see. Thank you so much. So unfortunately, our Indian government website is down at the moment. Indian Patent Office website, maybe some load on this. Right. So there are so many patents which has been applied by IIT Madras. Now let us look at one of them, right? What exactly they have done. As you can see, this is a communication related patent. It says a method implemented by a receiver for processing pilot data and communication signals. Said method comprising performing by receiving circular shifting on a first pilot data to create a circular shifted first pilot data. Let me take another example. Something that you have already in the textbooks. I wanted to take that. I was already studying this before I showed to you. So Look at this. Yeah, a method implemented by receiver for processing a received communication signal comprising applying by receiver endpoint discrete Fourier transform to send received signal to create a frequency domain signal, right? So something that we are already learning in the textbooks about QAM, about discrete Fourier transform, about spread spectrum communication methods, and so on. So these are some of the familiar terms, right? Discrete Fourier transform, spread, frequency division, multiple access. So this has been filed by inventors in IIT Madras, Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, right? Center of Excellence in Wireless Technology. So let us say that you come up with any of those inventions in wireless technology or communication systems, right? And you put up a provisional application. You can contact these guys. That look, this is all that we are doing. Would you like to go ahead with this, right? So this is one. And second, that I want to show you something again that we keep learning in our textbooks. No, regulator, right? I wanted to show you one voltage regulator. No, maybe offline. One sec. Even this is a universal transceiver technique for multiple numerology OFDM systems, right? Orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. We have all studied this in our syllabus. So they have done some innovation into this. I'm not going into these details. Auto configurable multi-phase voltage regulator, right? This is one of the things that I wanted to show you. What does this contain now? If you look at the, yeah, a multi-phase low dropout voltage regulator device comprising an output stage and so on. So what exactly is this doing, right? Let me just quickly run through the summary of this. That will get you a clarity. So again, this is developed at IIT Madras by a professor named Professor Saxena. He teaches the electronics there, Saurabh Saxena, right? So background of the invention is the problem statement, right? What is the problem? And field of the invention. The disclosure relates generally to voltage regulators, and in particular devices and methods for regulating voltage. Each one of us has studied regulation of voltage, isn't it? We have studied rectifiers, and after rectifier, how to reduce the ripple. Everything that we have studied. This is an invention, recent invention, right? 2 years back, he has done a another invention into this. So this actually presents the drawbacks over here, and then this is the summary of the invention. In various embodiments provided herein, a multi-phase low dropout LDO voltage regulator device. The device includes an output stage having a load circuit. Output stage is configured to receive an input voltage from a power source. We all know this. This is AC power source, 250 volts, 50 megahertz, to provide a regulated output voltage based on a load current in the load circuit, right? So with this, on this note, I won't, feed you much. With this, I think I end, and I would say that this is just a beginning. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Uttishtha Bharata. Why I've put Swamiji's picture over here is it was Swami Vivekananda who inspired to set up Indian Institute of Science. Right, while he was on a ship, he met Mr. Tata, and then he said that unless and until we become intellectually powerful, it is not going to be really good for us. So I would, once again reiterate the same thing that Swamiji has said, that we are now all going to arise awake, right? We are really going to study our fundamentals very well. Unless until we know the existing textbooks very well, we will not be able to push our frontiers of science and technology, right? So the first thing that comes is the academics. Academics is most important, and then comes the innovation. So I would say from now on, please don't call your project as project work. On paper you can write it as mini project, mega project, whatever, but you call it as a product line. So let us say on, I mean, the guides are the best to, guide you. I don't want to talk on behalf of the guides and then override them. But yeah, this is all in a nutshell. So I think with this, I end my presentation. So in case you have got any more questions, do reach out to me. Thank you. Over to you, Atharva. Over to you, Khataukar ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for this very enlightening presentation. I will gather all the questions that are coming in, and I will reach out to you for this. And I'm sure all the questions will be answered, and more will be coming in till the next webinar series comes in. I really thank you for this webinar, and it was really enlightening, really great. And I'm sure this will be inspiring a lot of our budding engineers to do something for our India. I also want to thank our esteemed HOD, Dr. Thackeray, and all the faculty for joining in and bestowing us with their presence. Over to you, Professor Katao, ma'am.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
audible.
Thank you very
One
much
sec,
on behalf of the
ma'am.
entire team, I must say.
Ma'am, can I take over for a second? Is that okay?
Sure, please do.
Yes, ma'am, I'm actually seeing a most important question. That is why I jumped in from Hitesh, which is the right question. That patent filing is
Right.
expensive from 50,000 to 1.5 lakh, isn't it? So, is there any government scheme to support students? Unfortunately, not. For students, there are no schemes. What we can do is we can actually register a group of 3 students under the Startup India scheme. You have to actually incorporate a company, startup that should have a roadmap. The moment you get a Startup India certificate, which is not very difficult, you actually get a legal help. That means you would be assigned a patent lawyer who would plead on your behalf, who can take your patent application forward till the grant stage. He can represent you before the patent office and then get that granted. Right? Rest all the hard work you have to do. Uh, I don't want to speak much about this at this moment, but then you will need to find your own company. For that, Startup India certificate can be obtained from the incubators. So there are 2 incubators. One is COAP. There is a Bhau Institute, which is one of the incubators. There is a the second incubator at MIT Pune, Maharashtra Institute of Technology, and third is at NCL. Now, I don't want to talk much. I mean, whether we can have an incubator at PVG itself, so that we can have a Startup India going on there. It all depends on the students, how enthusiastic the students are. Uh, I have registered for Startup India. Very good, Hitesh. So if you have registered for Startup India in process, if you get your Startup India certificate on startupindia.gov.in, you will find a list of patent facilitators. Get in touch with the patent facilitators along with your idea. All you have to do is you have to pay government fees of the patent filing, which is around 1,600 for startups, and then rest of the lawyer fees will be reimbursed by the government. All right. For more details, you can reach out to me. You are already on the right lines. Um, so, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Khataukar ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thanks for taking those important questions from Hitesh. He's one of the enthusiastic students of the department.
Oh, I see.
Is there an echo?
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Now you are audible, ma'am.
I think I was using my laptop and my cell phone. There's an echo on my side actually. But anyways, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you. You have taken a very right stand coming back to the institute and responding in such a wonderful manner. So that you are going to take the students way ahead, and these students are only got to now get this click from you and start working on these lines. We look forward to more such sessions from you whenever the time permits, whenever you find free time. Uh, Please let us know. We can arrange such sessions in this webinar series. We can continue in this semester. in years to come as well. Maybe some students will be joining you to hold these sessions henceforth. It is Nachikeet. Was I audible by the way?
Ma- Ma'am, you weren't audible. You were breaking a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Could you please go on once again?
But am I audible? Let me know that.
Yes, ma'am. Now you're audible. Much
Now
audible.
you're audible.